In 2018, I had the opportunity to travel solo for the first time to Argentina, with side trips to Chile and Uruguay. Let's be real. But Argentina is where the story begins. It was my first real experience being completely on my own in another country. No parents, no group, no familiar structure to lean on. Just me, a map, and whatever decisions I made next. On my first night in Buenos Aires, I walked through the city center, down near what people most often compare it to our version of Wall Street. I saw the famous Pink House, their White House. I wandered through the main square, and I took it all in, the way you do when everything feels both exciting and slightly unfamiliar at the same time. Eventually, I got hungry, and when you're tired, slightly jet-lagged, and in a new country, hunger becomes very simple. Find food. Any food. Preferably something safe, familiar, and fast. I found what looked like a small, convenience store-style restaurant. Nothing fancy, simple menu, easy choices. Perfect. I walked in thinking I had this all figured out. It was hot dogs. How hard can that be? A couple of snacks, a drink, done. I ordered in a mix of broken Spanish and a little bit of English, pointing, smiling, and hoping we were both understanding the same reality. And then something interesting happened. The guy making the hot dog asked me what I wanted as toppings. Instead of telling him what I wanted on the hot dog, I paused and essentially asked, "What do you normally top it with?" That question caught him off guard a little, and if I'm honest, I caught myself off guard a bit. Because in that moment I realized I walked in assuming there was a correct version of hot dog. You know, ketchup, mustard, maybe some relish if someone was feeling adventurous. But after seeing all the toppings they had behind the counter, I realized this wasn't true, at least not in this country. So I said something simple. Make it the way you would normally make it. And that changed a little bit of everything. He started assembling something I would have never ordered on my own. There were 3 different sauces I couldn't fully identify. One kind of looked like a mustard, one was a creamy blend of sour cream and mayo maybe, and one was labeled queso, that I definitely recognized. Okay, cheese sauce, that makes sense, and sounds pretty good on a hot dog. Then came something unexpected. These thin, crispy, almost wafer-like potato pieces sprinkled on top. Like someone had taken French fries and engineered them into something lighter, sharper, and more intentional. It was nothing like the hot dogs I grew up with. And honestly, that is kind of the point. I took it back to my hotel room that night, and tired from traveling, I wasn't exactly expecting much more than basic fuel. But it was one of the best things I've ever eaten. Not because it was just a hot dog, but because it wasn't my version of a hot dog. It was theirs. And that experience, it started something I do to this very day. In every country I visit, I try to find a local version of a simple food. Often it's hot dogs. Apparently they're universal. And I order it the way they would make it. Not customized, not adjusted to my preferences, just their way. Because I learned something important that night in Buenos Aires. Sometimes the best experience doesn't come from choosing what you already know you like. It comes from trusting someone else's expertise in their environment. And that idea goes well beyond hot dogs, thankfully. Most of us walk into new experiences with a quiet assumption that we already know how things should be done. How to travel, how to learn, to work, to lead, and to live. We carry our defaults everywhere we go. And without realizing it, those defaults can limit what we're willing to experience. But when you step into someone else's world, you really step into it and say, "Hey, show me how you would do this." Something shifts. You stop being the expert and you start becoming the student again. That simple shift, it opens doors you didn't even know were there. Because people will surprise you. Cultures will surprise you. Even something as ordinary as a hot dog can become completely new when you stop trying to control the outcome. Now, I'm not saying abandon your standards or blindly accept everything, but I am saying this. There is value in letting go of the need to already know. There is value in curiosity over control. There is value in asking, what does this look like from your perspective? Instead of assuming your version is the reference point. That night in Argentina didn't just give me a good meal. It gave me a habit, a small one, but a powerful one. Ask how it's done here, and then try it. Because you never know what you're going to discover when you stop trying to recreate your own world wherever you go. Sometimes the best experiences don't come from ordering what you know, they come from trusting someone else's way of doing things. And in my case, it just happened to come on a hot dog in Buenos Aires.